You guys ever heard of or know anything about Banggai? Well, neither do we. Never heard of the place. But we're here and we're going to check it out. Come along. So Banggai, it's an archipelago of islands. There's a few big ones and a bunch of small ones and heaps of atolls and reefs and stuff. It's just off the east coast of central Sulawesi, I'd guess you'd say. But there's basically zero tourism in the Banggai Islands. Definitely no Western tourism. There's a few Indonesians come here on day boat trips. Yeah, and that's what interests us. You know, we look on the maps and, you know, Zulu Waterways, Navionics, all these places where people put anchorages and say, oh, it was great and there's 4G and there's whatever, you can buy bread. There's none of that. There's not one single marker in this whole region on Zulu Waterways, and on Navionics there's only a couple, and they're like local people who have found out how to use it and just put, oh, there's my house. But yeah, there's basically nothing here. I know some sailors have come through here, but they haven't left any tips and stuff, and that's amazing. That's what we want to see. So we've spent a few hours looking on satellite maps and things like that and picked out a few places. We're about to pull up the anchor and we're going to go do a circle of this whole main island, Banggai Laut. And we've got a couple of places that should be pretty epic. And we might even get a bit of a sail today. They might have a bit of wind down the south and up the east coast of the island. Anyway, follow along. We'd anchored in 20 metres just off the side of a bunch of fishing boats in a little Budjo village. It was not a bad spot at all. So as you can see, the weather wasn't crazy good, but this was about as good as we'd had in the last couple of months. So it wasn't raining, so we pulled up the anchor and just went for it. Now I was pretty aware of the weather situation. We were heading south into a headwind, and then we had the choice of, we could leave early and have the tide running with us, but obviously then against the wind, or we could wait a bit longer and wait for the tide to turn and then have the tide against us. The current will be the same direction as the wind. So one way you go very slowly but the waves are sort of flat. The other way you go very fast because the current's with you, but you're heading into more steeper waves because it's wind against current. Well, I prefer to go faster and get the horrible stuff over with quicker, so we did just that. Now Marie gets quite seasick, probably on Trade Runner just as much as Schiehallion, to be honest, but it's a different feeling, different movement of the boat. But she's found a way to sort of counteract the seasickness, and that's to stay busy, and filming and taking photographs really helps her with that. So she's sort of like concentrating on that sort of stuff so she doesn't get seasick. So yeah, here she is, hard at work. Now as we rounded the very southern part of the island and went between Banggai and a small island that was south of it, the current sort of compressed through there and it started racing, and we were going very fast, but the waves started going bigger and bigger. But fortunately by then the wind was starting to get on a usable angle for us, and as soon as we got past sort of 35 degrees, then I pulled up the sails, and the boat's just got such a nicer motion when you're sailing than when you're motoring. Even though the waves were still quite steep, it smoothed everything out, and we were going a lot faster as well. This was by far the roughest section, but every 200-300 meters I could turn another 10 degrees to port, and you know, so you just get more and more angle on the waves and on the wind, and so it all smoothed out, and soon we were going fast and the waves were on our beam, and then they were actually behind the beam, and it was all nice.
We finally got to a calm bay after this bouncy ride. The water was still and dark. Dropping the anchor was tough, as often in Sulawesi. We didn't film our many attempts as we were way too busy to hold the camera, so you have to believe our words. The next day, we were lucky enough to have a bit of sun and decide to explore the area. The water was incredibly clear, and the colors in the sun were mesmerizing. Coral seemed amazing, but we didn't go snorkeling as it would have been complicated with Eli, but we enjoyed the coastline view. We spotted when we entered the bay a surprising hole in the cliff, probably made by the erosion. We drove the dinghy to the entry and enjoyed the beauty of this impressive natural tunnel. Eli had a little dip too, as the swimming occasions are rare lately with the awful weather. After all of these adventures, Eli was happy to have some breast milk on the way to the next exploration, a huge turquoise lagoon on the back of the bay.
Free flowing, sailing with the wind, not knowing how this story ends. Kind and brave, I know you'll find a way. Live your truth and good will come to you. Home, sweet home. Home, sweet home.
As often, we witnessed the landscape was incredibly lush and beautiful, but we didn't meet a lot of sea life. And we quite understand why. At the entry of this lagoon, the fishermen were not letting a lot of chance to the poor fish.
Happy boy? Well, we're anchored up here on the eastern side of Banggai Islands. I don't know the name of this place. It's close to Kendak. Kendak, little town. Anyway, there was no, as we said, there's no markers or anything in this whole area, but we found this little patch of sand off this little island here, and we did try further around in this other bay where we sort of saw on the satellite maps that should have been good, but wow, how many times did we try? Like 5?
Yeah, 5 times. The anchor didn't grab anything.
No.
It's like going on a rock and just sliding.
It was like marble floor down there. It wasn't jumping, bobbing, bouncing, slowing us. It was just reversing, and we were just going backwards at a speed, and we didn't slow down once. And we tried different places, different angles, different amounts of chain out. Nothing. So we gave up there and came here.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful, actually, really, really nice. Far enough away from the village, we could just hear the mosque, but far enough away that it wasn't, waking us up. But we had a few fishermen stop by, and that was nice. And as you see from the shots, yeah, beautiful, beautiful area here with this big hole in the cliff with the white cliffs and the big mangrove sort of, well, not a mangrove area, just a big sort of inland waterway area. Beautiful, beautiful.
And some nice beach and some nice, it's a really cool area.
We went over to that beach over there the other night, but we haven't been able to enjoy it quite as much as we should. Like, we're all sort of suffering in our own ways. Like, I've had a staph infection now, well, I've had about 4 in the last month, and on antibiotics almost constantly. And I'll get rid of one, and then another one will turn up, I'll finish a run of antibiotics and I'll be healthy, and then 4 days later another one will come. So I'm not quite sure what the problem is, and I need to get the bottom of it because it's sort of destroying me, and I shouldn't be taking that many antibiotics. And baby was sick for a week, had a fever and a cough.
A little cold and suffered a lot too. It was nothing fun for him, but nothing fun for us too, because it's his first time. We were a bit anxious, and you know we are quite far from everything, so you're always like, okay, now I can handle, but if it's getting worse, what's gonna be the next step? And so but we went through, and I think like this rainy season will never stop. The job we have to catch up, and all of this accumulated, we are just pretty tired.
It's all catching up, like editing these videos. Marie's got her work, her sound editing to do, but then when baby's sick, obviously she gets less sleep because he needs more, and I'm less help because I'm sick, and we're probably sounding pretty negative, but it is all just accumulated to the fact that we're in the most beautiful place ever, and it's really nice and everything's great.
I would not exactly say that. Like, Sulawesi is cool and it's a really nice, beautiful place, but I still think out of our problems and slowing down, probably because of the weather, like we are not enjoying as much as usual because we have really to find the nice window for getting out.
Okay, so it's not super beautiful, it's pretty crap, and we're just, it's super beautiful, but I don't know what you're talking about. You cannot hardly get more beautiful. There are obviously things missing, but as in terms of look at it outside of our mood and what we're doing, it is stunning,
sunny,
absolutely stunning.
Would be stunning.
Here's a sailing tactic I often use on Trade Runner. I took it from Schiehallion, so going on a run downwind, I used to pole out the jib on Schiehallion. Well, on a cat you don't carry a pole to begin with, but you don't really need to. As you can see here, the boat's wide enough. Instead of running the jib sheet to its normal jib car and onto the winch, I basically just barber haul it out to a wider block on the very edge of the boat and then back to the spinnaker winch, and then I've got a lot of extra width on the jib then. After staying 2 or 3 days in that beautiful spot, we had a relatively short and easy 15-mile run north and then west around the top of the island to a couple more spots that I'd seen. We knew this one was downwind, so what a easy passage that was. I just chose not to lift the main, and this boat flows along 6-7 knots with just a jib out basically, so we just enjoyed it and really had a good one. You driving, Bibu? You driving? Huh? Yeah. Pretty hard work steering when you've got such little arms, although it's pretty strong, but every now and again he needs a bit of a top up, so he yells out, and Marie's always there to give him a bit of a feed. And then sometimes he goes back steering, or sometimes he just goes to sleep and leaves the rest of us to it. We were having such a relaxing sail actually that we sort of left a little bit too late to furl the sails up, and by the time I sort of realised that we're getting pretty close to the spot, we'd got a bit closer. It was a bit of a crash dive of the sail down and the engines on, and a reverse and a quick 180 and out of there.
13 meters.
And anyway, that spot that I thought it was going to be good from the satellite pictures, it turned out not to be good at all, just shelving straight up from 50 metres up to 2 metres. So we went in search of another one. And just 3 miles along the coast to the west, we found the ultimate spot. Have a look at this place. What do you reckon, baby?
Well, baby is super excited, I think, because he wants to swim. And we are in a beautiful turquoise water. Just close to the beach.
What's this place called?
Oyana Beach. It's a really beautiful spot, and I was a bit not motivated to come when Val proposed, because I was thinking because it's a touristic area, it's gonna be full of people, but we are alone. Perfect.
Now this place, Oyama Beach, is the place that a lot of YouTube channels try and make out that we find all the time, and this is sailing. Believe me, it's not. We've had about 2 months of absolute rubbish weather, rubbish anchorages, Finding this place, to us, it sort of saved us a little bit. We spent 4 or 5 days here and absolutely loved it. We had this amazing weather the whole time, and we really sort of unwound ourselves, our nerves. We all got healthier and got better again, and wow, we really needed this. Marie and Eli together on the beach, they're just absolute rock stars, and everyone wants photos with them. We give everyone time to get a shot, and then we tell them, hey, politely, we want to spend some time alone on the beach, and everyone here is so nice that they always allow it, and they walk away and let us do our thing. In the last few weeks, Eli has really turned, before our eyes, he's really turned from a little helpless little baby into a little boy who's curious and happy and afraid, and he shows us that he wants to see something. He shows us that he needs us to help him and to back him up, and it's really, really amazing to watch and to sort of experience the changes that he's going through. And yeah, it's well, I guess all you parents out there know the feeling, but for me, obviously 50-year-old, first time with a baby, and pretty incredible. This is the first time we've really had him at the beach, and he was sort of afraid of, you know, in the waves. They were rushing over him in the noise, I think, but as long as we were holding on to him, he would sort of look up at us and be like, yeah, that's okay, and then he'd sort of wiggle around his toes in the sand a bit, and it was pretty incredible to watch. And then I buried him up to his neck in the sand, and he's so happy to spend time with us. And it's one of the joys of us being on a boat doing this lifestyle. We are both here 24 hours a day and can witness all of this. Amazing. All good things have to come to an end, and after a few days there, we did have to leave, unfortunately. Could have stayed there a lot longer, but yep. It was a pretty short motor down to Banggai City again, where we would finish our mini circumnavigation. Pretty intense currents though down through there between the little island and the big island. We had about 4 or 5 knots at one stage. It took us longer than we thought, but it was relatively easy and very calm. And just before sunset, and just before it started raining again, we dropped anchor in our familiar spot next to the fishing boats outside the city of Banggai Islands. Okay guys, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed our little circumnavigation of Banggai Islands. And you can see Trade Runner down there in the background. Maybe not, maybe it's a bit blown out, but we're up here at Kaola Cafe, I guess it's called. French guy and Indonesian wife. And they have a real nice place up here, and we got a tip to come up here. They make their own ice cream, which is the main reason I came here, but also bread, which is the main reason you came here.
Yeah, no, that's a super good surprise. I was, like, Banggai is pretty remote, and I was not expecting to find some nice bread and pizzas here.
Oh yeah, pizza
so
too.
That's a really good surprise.
Yep.
And if you are visiting one day Banggai, you should come here. That's a really nice place.
Up on the hill you can see the whole city and the sunset out that way. Tomorrow we're heading that way, back to Luwuk. Anyway, thanks patrons, very, very much appreciate all the support you guys give, and also our friends on PayPal. We've got one good friend that really helping us good on PayPal, and if you would like to join any of these people really supporting us, it's yeah, much appreciated. We'd love to welcome you to our crew, our virtual crew. And yeah, baby here's got something to say. What do you got to say?
Danny's tired.
Oh. Tired? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, go. It's your turn, go. Oh, he's lost for words, He normally talks a lot.
What did you learn about this video, baby?
What did you learn in this video? Well, we might have lacked a little bit of energy in this video actually, because I've been sick and on antibiotics the whole time. I've got this big thing on my head, it's bloody infected and oozing. And baby's sort of been sick, although he's got better. Marie's mum's been seasick the whole time, and it's been raining.
Yeah, and I think this rainy season really took also a lot of our enthusiasm to visit things. Like, it's quite hard when like it's just pissing down everywhere. But yeah, it was a really nice place to visit, and I can imagine that when it's dry season, it's really an amazing place even more.
I mean, we got, obviously from the shots you've seen, we did get some good weather, but it was really, we picked these shots that we got, this was the only good weather in a whole...
We were waiting for the window.
Yeah. Alright, the sun's out, got to get the drone up in the air, or no, we've got to sail, but, you know, we had a good time, but definitely we would have stayed longer at all these places if there'd been good weather. But yeah, incredible place, and as we said in the start of the video, no one seems to come here, as in sailors. Like, everywhere we went, people were like, oh, what are you doing? You know, but it was cool. Anyway, onwards and upwards, we're back to Luwuk. Marie's mum's leaving, my mum's arriving, and then we're off to the Tolgien, I don't know what it's called, Tolgien Islands, which we've been looking forward to a lot. Anyway, we'll see you then next week. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye bye. Thanks, see you, baby.